this is cool too because you got 0 loans, right? No loans. So many people who, the excuse I hear is, well, I can't get a loan for that. You don't need a loan. You need to go out, wake up every morning, and go work. No, this is good. This is perfect. Okay, so the first thing, we'll start with, for anybody who may not know you, tell us a little bit about who you are, kind of where you're at right now, and kind of just give a little bit of background.
My name is Cliff DeArmond. I own Cliff Food Wagon, a local food truck here in the Permian Basin area. I am a father of 4, business owner, and young millennial entrepreneur.
That's awesome. So, like I said before, we were talking a little bit earlier. What are some characteristics that you think that you have that helped, give you the ability to kind of build the business? That's like an incredible amount of self-awareness. But kind of, what are some things that you think really helped you in going in and doing that?
Fortitude. Be hard-headed enough to believe in yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
We were hungry. That takes a little bit.
Yeah.
You almost have to be a little desperate.
Yeah.
No kidding. To pull you out of bed every day. The amount of drive that my kids give me is unprecedented. My kids are an amazing amount of inspiration because they believe in me when I didn't believe in myself. I'm not advocating having kids to build a business because that's quite contradictory. But, it definitely came down to the fact that my kids needed me as a provider to work hard. But fortitude, being hard-headed enough to believe in your vision and your goals.
So let me ask you, did you get a lot of pushback when you started this?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because in the Permian Basin, a food truck was almost the equivalent of being like a burrito lady. Now, there's nothing wrong with a burrito lady.
But I get that. Yeah.
There's a sense of, in our area, that's not really working hard.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's the premise behind it. I get that.
It's like being a food salesman. You're selling food on the corner, like you're selling hot dogs for a living.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that too, because I was actually thinking about this on the way over. There's a total different premise on what food trucks are now.
Oh yeah.
And I think you and several other the food trucks around the area have totally changed that mindset.
Yeah. So when we first started, people were hesitant to eat from our units because we were still, in their mind, like I said, a roach coach or some kind of, something that you only ate at if you were 2 a.m. and you were really drunk.
Right.
Or you were out in the middle of an oil field and you were desperate to eat.
Yeah.
And little did they know that what was happening is culture was being built in our area finally.
I love that.
Stuff that you see on 6th Street in Austin and stuff that you see in downtown Dallas and on Venice Beach and in New York City. Now we have food trucks.
Yeah.
And, cordon bleu chefs, professionals are in there making their dreams a reality.
Yep.
I wasn't a cordon bleu chef, but I was really professionally trained at the table.
Right.
I love to eat, so I love I know what I love to eat, and really my inspiration came when I was at the Permian Basin Fair one night.
Okay.
I was sitting with my wife, and she said, "I want a turkey leg," and I looked up at the line of people, going to get a turkey leg, is in line to get a turkey leg. And I cussed her out in my mind because I'm like, I'm not standing in this 1 hour line to get a turkey leg.
Right.
And then she said, cool, well, find me a corn guy. Find me the roasted corn. So I walked around to try to find the roasted corn, and that line was long too.
So you're talking about going to different,
like
trying
booths,
to
find these food items. And it just kind of hit me. Through the inspiration of other things too, but it just kind of hit me that these people really love these food. Why wouldn't they eat it next week when the fair's gone?
Right. Oh, that's...
And that's how I started.
So you saw kind of the it was this fair food that people were seeing as like, they were seeing it as fair food.
Yeah.
And then you saw, well, there's no reason why these people wouldn't eat it all the time.
Oh, if they're standing in a 1 hour line for a $12
yeah.
turkey leg, they'll come by mine for $9 next week.
Yeah, that's smart. I
And
like that.
So you know, that's how it kind of got started. I was a youth pastor at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I had 5 students who were wanting to go to college, Bible college, and these 5 students kind of motivated me to figure out a way to help them raise their money to get to college. You know, the deposits and everything they had to come up with, and it was about the time I saw those lines, and I'm thinking, well, here's a great way to do it.
Right.
And I kind of just picked it up and ran with it.
That's an incredible story. I love that so much. It was so. I want to talk a little bit about. You said you were hungry, because I think that's, for me, like super important. Because like you said, a lot of times businesses are built out of necessity.
Oh yeah.
Not because, like I was saying before, there's this culture thing going on where everybody wants to build a business, right? But then some people don't realize how much work it takes.
Oh yeah.
They get a little bit into it, and then they're just like,
Yeah.
and not realizing, you know what I mean?
So one of my mentors told me, if you're not willing to take something from infancy to being a toddler, if you're not willing to take something at least 3 years,
Right.
don't even start it.
Yep.
Don't
I
even
agree.
start it, because you don't know anything about it
Yeah.
until you're 3 years into it.
Yep. And those first 3 years suck.
Oh, they're awful. And it's just like
Yeah.
raising a kid. I'm speaking from a dad's perspective, it's like raising a kid. You got the biting stage, you got the cranky, you got all these different stinky things that come with that stage.
Yep.
And it wasn't until they're 3 years old that they become fun.
Yeah, and then it
And
starts.
they start taking shape
Yep.
and character, and you learn about them
Yeah.
finally
I
after
love
you've been
that.
through all those different things.
That's a really good analogy for that. I think that yeah, exactly. That happens a lot. I mean, I've met several people who've, and it's kind of, and I was guilty of this very, very early on too. Was like, sitting around, having a beer, talking about opening a bar,
Yeah.
and then nothing gets done.
Yeah.
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 And it's
It is a hunger that you really get in to set a personal goal to meet your goal.
yeah.
I said to myself I was going to add these different menu items, and I actually had to, I didn't really crowdfund. I literally had to work for the money to buy the equipment to even expand my next area
Right.
of business. I didn't have zero credit.
Yeah.
Nothing to borrow, no credit
Yep.
cards, laughed out of banks.
Yeah.
And it was just cash. It was cash and flow and hustle and hard work and sweat
Yeah.
and late nights and early mornings. And any of those things
Mm-hmm.
cannot be left out of the equation.
Yep. I agree.
Like, they were all very pivotal. They were all the different chemicals necessary
and
to
so,
formulate what we come up with.
yeah, this is cool too because you got 0 loans.
Yeah.
Right? No
Debt
loans.
free.
So, but I think this is funny too because that's so many people who, the excuse I hear is, well, I can't get a loan for that.
Yeah.
Or, and it's like, you don't need that. You don't need a loan. You need to go out, wake up every morning and go work.
So a lot of misconceptions about the food truck industry is all you got to do is find a trailer and put a barbecue pit on it, or put a grill in there and just start selling.
And people will come.
And people will come. And
Yeah.
it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
The amount of money I've spent with social media marketing,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care to say on camera.
Yeah.
The amount of money spent on insurance in order to
Well,
obtain permits, in order to operate your business,
Yeah.
payroll taxes, all these things. It's an investment, but it can be done if you just are hungry enough.
Yep. So, talking about this, because the social media marketing, because that kind of comes into my world, you said you didn't want to, talk about how much you spent there. It blows my mind how little people want to spend there.
Oh, I know it.
And it's incredible to me. Like, I know right now, like my business, I'm in a market that doesn't believe in it yet, and I'm aware of that, and I know it's going to take some time. The market will catch up. I'm aware it's going to be a slow build. But it's funny you say that because, like I said, I was driving over here. You have like 12, 13. I think how many followers you have? Thousands of followers, right?
I have 28,000 followers on Facebook alone.
On Facebook alone. Yeah.
probably another 5,000 to 6,000 on other social media, Snapchat, Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram.
That's incredible. You know how many multi-million-dollar businesses are in the area that do nothing?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like and for what you get out of it, I think it's dirt cheap too.
Oh, it is.
And that's crazy to me that I think so many people are
Yeah.
just kind of like,
And it's so smart because you can take social media and filter it and formulate it to reach the people you want to actually reach
yep,
without throwing the net so wide. You
Yes.
actually can build it to
Yes.
zone right in and get right in the lap of the people you want.
the analogy I use on this, because you use the exact same thing that I said, was like most advertisements nowadays are like this wide net, right? And you just hope you catch the right people. Versus a lot of especially Facebook advertising, if you really understand the way that works, that's like, you know exactly what fish you want,
Oh yeah.
and you're going in with a spear and you're taking it.
Yep.
And and it's it's just so much more efficient for the dollars you spend on that.
Absolutely.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important was social media to grow in your business?
Social media is it really is one of the most pivotal foundations of my business.
Yeah.
I didn't have the money to paper advertise,
Right?
to digitally advertise on television, radio, etc. I didn't even have the money for a website.
Yeah.
I turned my Facebook page into my website, and I punched it as hard as I could every day.
Yeah.
And I literally, when I didn't want to, I came home at night after I sweated and messed with grumpy, angry people, and all that I had to do, and answered every question, and was diligent at every comment,
Oh my
at every
goodness.
like,
This is like
and
verbatim.
and
Yeah.
did everything I could to make sure that every social media follower. So when they liked my post, I sent them an invitation to like my page.
Yep.
And when they commented, looks good, I said, thank you, come try it. Or, whatever. So social media built my business in
Yeah.
our area. And what's crazy is we're not in a social media driven area.
Yeah. Not really.
We're
yeah.
not in an area. Now millennials are picking up on it and the importance of it being like a personal website.
Yep.
I mean, I really believe my social media page tells my story.
Yeah.
You and most people, when they want to find out who somebody is, they go to social media anymore to see who they are.
The crazy thing is, it's not even just millennials either. Like
Oh, no.
I've got so much data that's coming in just from this area.
Yeah.
It blows my mind why businesses don't want to get into this, because I mean, there have been several businesses that I've spoken to, and they're like, "Well, my customers aren't there." I'm like, "Are you mad? Like, even in this area right now,
Yeah.
2/3 of the population is on Facebook,
Yeah.
logging in at least once a month.
Right.
I mean, that's 2/3. Like, what other advertisement venue can you tell me that has 2/3 of the people's eyeballs?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
No.
And so, yeah, that's so funny to me. And the other thing too that I want to comment on was, you're talking about engaging with them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the other thing that's super important. I think that I tell businesses all the time, that you can't just be there. It's not enough to just be online and post stuff, because then you're just doing the same thing that television was, right?
Yeah.
Social media is the big difference between social media is you can actually talk to the people who want.
It's interactive.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
totally interactive.
It's the customer bringing themselves to you even before you get their product in their hand. And it's a sense of sales, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly
And
what it is.
anybody that's smart, anybody that's successful, understands the power of social media. And anybody that thinks about the future of their business and the future growth of their business and future customer bases is focused on social media.
Absolutely. Yeah, no kidding. And so you think of, like, a lot of people, like I was saying, they're like, "Oh, my customers aren't there." Even if a business, I can't think of one right now that has a customer base that's not there. But even if a business had a structure that was built around customers that were not using social media, right? Those customers go away eventually, right? Like if you expect to be in business for, in the next 5-10 years, the older customer base is going to go away at some point. And the newer customer base, the millennials, and even like right now, the fastest growing demographic on Instagram specifically is 45-year-old white women.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fastest growing demographic, and a lot of people don't know that statistic. Like,
Wow.
I mean, can you imagine, like, if you own a business that is predicated around 45-year-old women.
Wow. Yeah.
Instagram is the place to be right now.
Wow.
And so many people they're not even paying attention to those things. It's
Yeah.
still kind of this afterthought.
Yeah.
Versus like you, pivotal.
Oh, yeah. So now I employ a full-time social media, representative.
Yep.
That with their phone, they make a living.
Yeah.
Because I snap new products, I tweet, I hashtag, I post, I Insta story,
Yep.
whatever forms of free
Yeah, and a lot of it's
marketing
free. Yeah.
I use. The only thing, that I, firmly pay for with social media is promoted picture posts.
Mm-hmm.
There's something people eat with their eyes.
Yep.
And I'm in the business of people eating. And so if I can get their stomach to growl through a picture, then I've won.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
And I go back to being a very good steward when someone said, yum, that looks good, or dude, where are you at?
Yeah, you're on there. Yeah.
There was somebody to get that. I made her set her notifications to get a ding on her phone
Every time.
Yeah. And I told her, you're never off and you're never on, but you never have to leave your house. You know, and that's been a pivotal part. I mean, I would rather employ her than have extra help in the actual trailer.
Right.
Because I know that's reaching
Because it's growing.
to my customer base.
Because it's business development, 100%.
Yep.
Man, that's incredible to me. It's so funny to me, like how in tune you are with what's happening, because I have a funny feeling that your future is super bright because of that.
Yeah.
Ridiculously.
Yeah.
And I think there's so many other people right now who are looking at totally different futures. Because they're ignoring stuff like that. They're ignoring what's really happening
They are.
on the phone. This is in everybody's hand.
Everybody. It's consuming our time. It is wasting our time. It is our recreation. We reward ourselves with our phones. Everything. And people are foolish to not have
Yes.
a presence.
Oh my goodness, that's so. Let's backtrack a little bit, because the way you stumbled across this is really intriguing to me. You were started doing social media because it was cheap,
Yeah.
right? It was a necessity, like you needed to do it, and you kind of just went into that realm, right? It's funny to me because that also happens to be a story of so many other people who were early on. They were looking for a really cheap advertising venue because bigger advertising venues are kind of taken over, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're way expensive.
Oh yeah.
And big businesses have totally taken over that.
Yeah.
You stumbled across it, like I said, across necessity, but the history behind that has always been the same. And I don't know how much of the history behind it you know, but like some of the biggest brands that we know now today got their start off of cheap advertising, specifically when television used to be cheap. Because when television first came out, everybody said the same thing. That's not worth my time. Nobody's watching that.
Yeah.
Like it's stupid. Because everybody was doing radio ads, and big companies like Miller Lite, for example, were born out of cheap advertising dollars that television created. So it's funny. This is exactly what I've been trying to tell people: is people that are doing the social media stuff now are the Miller Lites of the next generation.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
So that's insane to me.
I think there's such a power in brand presence. Not even have to be dominance.
Yep.
But brand presence. When I worked on my logo, I wanted it to pop. I wanted it to be loud. I wanted it to scream louder than any other food truck that could ever show up.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted it. And that consistent presence. I think it's a failure that I see some food trucks, but because it's in my industry, but even businesses who invest so much into facilities and then they have no digital or online representation.
Yep.
And everyone in our culture now is finding out if they're going to like the restaurant before they even put the food in their mouth.
Absolutely.
And if they're going to look, and the first thing they do look at the reviews.
Yep.
What's their star rating? My star rating is a sense of honor to me.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when someone gives me a negative review, I take it personally, like I mope around.
Yeah.
And, you know, I look at people like Emeril Lagasse and all these chefs, and their restaurants, like, they have, like, awful ratings. I know they're good restaurants.
Right.
I know they're good cooks. But, you know, at some point, you get so many, you know, negative reviews and things,
Yeah.
you know, and just whatever. But I really don't know where I was going with that, other than maybe I just kind of take it personally. And I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of pride in
And I
that.
think you should. I think everybody should.
Of course,
I think
I
if you
guess
get
when you're Emeril Lagasse, you don't really matter if
Doesn't really
anybody
bother
likes
him,
you or
right? Yeah.
not.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you check out Cliff's Food Wagon on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And while you're at it, follow Beyond Elite. We've got a ton of different interviews coming up with some pretty big names you're not going to want to miss.